only accounting for appreciation. That's not accounting for cash flow or loan pay down. And on the same side, if I invest $200,000 in the stock market and I get a 8% return, which is a phenomenal return, is that
People say 30 to 40% return, but I want people to be able to average out their losses and profits in stock market portfolio. And it has again and again averaged out at 8%. It's lucky day if it's 10%. Now, I do want to emphasize one thing. Early on our business, when we were developing habits to become successful in real estate, I remember my coach sat me down and he said that, Rosie, let's talk about where you ultimately see yourself in 5 years. He didn't tell me where you see yourself in 1 year. He said, whatever you have done for this year, just write it out. Let's write down your 5 year old plan. And in very first question he asked me is that, who do you plan to become in 5 years? And I still remember he had this incredible piece of wisdom where he leaned in and he said, Rosie, the one of the biggest mistake people make in real estate is that sometimes we are losing so slow that we think we're winning. And it comes in the form of small, small errors that are made in real estate, as simple as calculating the repair cost incorrectly during a fix and flip, incorrectly calculating the funding or private lending costs during fix and flips, not incorporating a competitive lender codes when buying investments, not looking at the rental numbers properly and being overly optimistic. There's so many times I look at comps in
Oh, Rosie, you're muted.
I look at people's comps in investment property, and there is this bias around the highest price somebody is getting.
I hate that.
Yeah, and when we are showing numbers, we look like the people who are going to deliver the bad news. We're always preparing for the worst case scenario. And one of the things that I think that I would like to change in people while buying real estate is that just because you close the eyes to bad news doesn't mean it's going to go away. So to be able to face it and have a conversation that you wouldn't have otherwise, because it's once it's too late to uncook the cooked, you cannot uncook a cooked meal, but you can cook it properly. So there goes opportunistic strategy. Did I say it right, Brie?
Yeah.
I can mess it up.
So I know we had some comments that the home warranty doesn't really quite end up being a great solution for our viewers. But I can tell you from personal experience and our home warranty contact, perhaps she's just really good. Now, and again, we're going to reemphasize this. This is no replacement for property
Management.
management, right?
Now, please, yeah, so let's address this. Yes, it is absolutely right. Some home warranties companies suck, and they are not going to return the calls on time. And that's why we have unique relationships with the ones who get a lot of business from us and they're accountable to us. And these are the people who return calls within the same day, assign a service company within the same day.
Yeah.
And as long as tenant knows that something is in transit for help, they are patient and happy. So I agree with it. Home warranty companies are not good, but if you're picking up the cheapest one, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
You
I can
know?
tell you my contact's on it right away, and she's excellent. And
Yeah.
now I'm going to say that, and someone's going to have a bad experience, right?
Yeah.
But the honest truth of it is that like I don't have to work hard to arrange it, and then my tenants know they're taken care of because it happens right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we would be happy to, but use our reference for sure and let them know Rosie and Roger sent us and Rivet Real Estate team sent us because they value this is a relationship we built over 15 years. And trust me, I've been burnt with the home warranty companies as well. But I'm talking about people who only have maybe one property or two properties, and they're buying properties for the appreciation reason rather than the cash flow reason. So they don't always have a budget to pay 10% to a property management company. So they want to look for alternative ways. If a property is recently remodeled, is fairly new, it is, and it's a well-screened tenant, and there is an appreciation model that you use to buy a property, then sometimes it is beneficial to go for the home warranty to take care of the big ticket items.
And being a broker owning property out of town, we still utilize property management too.
Yeah,
So home warranty is not a one all solution. You
yeah.
just you gotta say, okay, well, can I make a trip to the property if I have to? If I can't, then it makes
Property
perfect sense
management
to use
company,
property
100%. Yep, yep. Cool, awesome. What's next?
So Rosie, I want to ask you and Bree, same question. What do you think is the easiest thing for people to do to scale their real estate?
Bree, you go first.
I know that's a really broad question, but what would you say?
What is the easiest way for people to scale their portfolio?
Yeah.
Get your current portfolio evaluated by an expert.
Oh,
A
nice.
lot of people don't realize the buying power they have. And like we're working with one investor right now, Bree, who when she started didn't know that they're capable of buying 3 properties in 1 year.
Yeah.
And they have the funds for it. The only thing they needed is a strategy around it. So I would say get your financials and properties evaluated. It's
Right.
worth the investment.
I would also say be open to different possibilities rather than having your buy box be, so limited and so narrow. Be open to exploring other possibilities where maybe it's in an area that you didn't think about before, but if the numbers are making sense, look at the numbers. If the numbers look good, don't listen to other people's opinions. Or too often I think people always say like, oh, I want to go to Pflugerville, right? Or I want to go to, I'm just making Cedar Park, right? But if your budget doesn't allow for that, why wouldn't you expand and maybe go to Hutto or go to Georgetown or go to
That
Gerald,
would be like
depending
get
on,
it.
what
Yeah.
it is, right? Like so
Mhm.
many different things that you could do. I think that's one thing, just being open to the
Mm.
different possibilities and looking at the numbers.
That
Okay.
there's one thing I would say. I can
Huh.
have a very solid advice.
Yes, please.
A lot of people might not like it, what I'm about to say next.
Say it.
Stop listening to people who are not doing the things that you are about to do.
Mm.
Stop
Or
taking advice from people who are not in the same journey as you. It's complete waste of time.
or to
Oh,
the people who did something, but it's been many years since they did it. If I bought a property in Pflugerville 10 years ago and I say Pflugerville was so great, 10 years ago, Pflugerville was a completely different ballpark than what it is now. Pflugerville is still great. Love Pflugerville. Invest in Pflugerville. But depending on what your budget is, it might not allow for that.
Yeah, I might not allow for that.
Or
Yeah.
maybe be open to negative cash flow at that point because you're going to have appreciation.
Yep. Yep. 100%.
so let me recap on that because you guys both said a mouthful. So Rosie, you said have your portfolio analyzed by a professional
And lending by power.
and lending by power. What do you mean by that?
Let's connect
Oh,
and talk about the lending power that you have or buying power you have.
the buying power you have. And then Bree, you said be willing to take a look at things that you haven't before.
Hmm.
Right? Come from a different angle, like have a camera angle shift and see if there's any new opportunities that you may have not been aware of.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I said one
So,
more after that.
what'd you say? Please share.
This was the most important one, Roger.
I said don't listen to people who are not doing the things
Ah,
that you're about to do.
yes, yes, that's very important.
You're going to pay for that.
Especially past success, like Bree was saying, that past success doesn't determine future success. Sometimes people get lucky. So, guys, this is a really big news, and for anyone living in the region. So, let me just show you where this is. This is right next to Blockhouse Creek and New Hope Drive, right here.
Right by
So,
HEB Center.
yeah,
Oh,
Close
wow.
your house, Bree.
right behind the HEB Center, right? So, this is really big news. They're actually developing the Nebraska Furniture Mart, which is owned by Warren Buffett. And
Nebraska Furniture Mart is coming to Austin?
yeah, Nebraska Furniture Mart is actually moving in close to
Cedar
New
Park.
Cedar Park. And they are going to be 1.2 million square feet of space. And then there's a sports retailer called Shields, and they're going to have this Ferris wheel inside the store. And they're going to be several 100,000 square feet. And so they're estimating that this entire center, this entire Nebraska Furniture Mart in Shields, is going to be about the size of Lakeline Mall. Yeah, but get this, it gets even crazier.
Money, money, money.
Yeah, they said by the time everything's said and done, it could be 5 million square feet of space, which is similar to the size of 5 regional malls.
I guess my father-in-law cannot stop me from buying furniture now. I think if my father-in-law had a power, he would have everybody live on basic needs.
Yeah.
One spoon, one bowl, one. Yeah.
He said you guys, he comes here every time. He's like, y'all got way too many dishes.
No. He's proud of us that we don't have many dishes, because he says like we break our glasses and then we don't replace them in a timely manner. And every time my in-laws are coming, I have this heart attack that they're going to complain about there's not enough dishes for them to use. And then he shares the story of his early days that we used to have one spoon, one bowl, one plate, one drinking glass.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a question, Roger. They're already starting on that because I've seen construction. Are they already starting on it? Because I've seen construction off of that.
Yes. They've already started on it, and it's I think expected to be complete by next year. But there's also going to be a 250 room hotel. There's going to be a lot more stuff going on over there.
Wow.
So get ready. I think they're also going to do some multifamily. If I'm not mistaken, like 1,500 square feet of 1,500 units of multifamily. So it's going to be pretty dense. And I can expect new restaurants and new places to eat. You know, with something the size of 5 regional malls, that's going to give us a lot more to do in the area. And that's kind of what we've been drumming on about all year so far this year, is that our city is becoming more experiential. And there's going to be a lot more things to do. I don't think Austin's going to be recognizable in the next 5 years. It's going to be a totally different city.
I agree.
Because like right now, you might get bored and you might not know what to do or might not have any options. And we are lacking some of those dining experience that Houston and I wouldn't say Dallas, but Houston has a lot of great options. And so we're going to get a lot of that food culture, I think, is going to get a chance to really kind of bubble out a little bit. So the things that make Austin a desirable place to live, we're just going to see more of those things, I feel like, here in the future. But one of the things that you guys can pay close attention to is the domain area is it's not gonna look the same. I mean, I know when we first saw those high rises or those mid to high rises, I was thinking to myself, I said, wow, Austin has a second downtown. Like, it really is that feel, right? As you're driving down Mopec North, heading south, it looks like an entirely separate downtown. But there's a reason for that now, because there's fewer height restrictions on buildings near the domain area. So we're going to see a lot more high rises in that area there, because, you know, they're trying to prevent buildings from towering over the Capitol. And so there's a height restriction downtown that we don't have in the domain. So I think we're going to see a lot of multifamily. We're going to see a lot of density, high density living, and all that sort of stuff. So you heard it here, you know, and I think it's exciting.
Roger, I'm trying to find it real quick. There's a place in Pflugerville that I drove by the other day, and it reminded me of Topgolf, but it wasn't Top Golf.
Yeah.